It just came from my mouth. Trickster tells welcome home. It's like, there is a lot of exploration.
I love psychodrama, and I find stuff like color just opens doors so easily. How do we bring these together? The color wheel is round. It doesn't have a starting and ending point. One of my favorite quotes, Oscar Wilde, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Cross to the other side. Meet someone who is opposite you on the color wheel.
Hello, welcome to Action Explorations. Our topic today is Way Over the Rainbow, Exploring Colors with Psychodrama. And our guest today is F Kopp. Hi, Stephen. Thank you for coming.
Hello. Glad to be here.
New online education alert. If you're studying psychodrama and would like to learn it online with pre-recorded video formats, please check out actionexplorations.education. Watch for detailed announcement at the end of this video.
Doing just the first part of the resources is something that I think people even earlier in their training can do. As we brought in the shadow, we're having a little more conflict, but again, we can work with that. You can literally say to people, like using a color wheel, on the opposite side, what's your shadow? Which really we're talking about. Focus and play. And how do we bring these together? The color wheel is round. It doesn't have a starting and ending point. So this is what I love about color. It opens so many doors. I think you can imagine we could do a much more involved drama than we did. We could literally run with that. And I'm thinking if this was a group, if you felt that's enough for me, I feel fairly certain someone else in the group would be like, I'm ready for drama.
Yes, exactly.
That would be an example of how I'd use color.
Wow, this is fantastic. You know what was the awe moment for me when you told me about this is the color Anna picked for you for Trickster. Gray is not Trickster's color. And when you told me pick up color for yourself. Yes, that was very oh my God. When I will be watching this, I am sure I will find another points which are,
But when I've done color, I've often done that. Someone will pick a color for their attribute, and if I ask the attribute, is that the cloth or is that the color you'd pick? A lot of times I'll be no. I would pick something more subdued, something with more texture, something brighter, something heavier, lighter. And again, because we're working with a metaphor, somehow to me it feels easier to help open our perspectives than if I said, no, okay, talk more about your trickster. It's like, no, just trickster, pick your fabric, and then we could just open that up. We could have spent another 10, 15 minutes easily just having the trickster celebrate being that gorgeous, bright, metallic-y red, coming home to not being fog, but being something radiant. I mean, I love psychodrama, and I find stuff like color just opens doors so easily.
It just came from my mouth like, welcome home. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Trickster tells welcome home. It's like, there is a lot of exploration. Might be, it's a lot. Welcome home. It's like, oh my God. Steve, could you please tell a couple of more words about how you use colors?
So again, if you have the capacity like you were using for the scarves because you have the texture, I mean, that very veil foggy one was great. If not, and I have colleagues who come in and work as a contract in a hospital setting, you can just go visit paint chips. I've thrown packages of crayons, throw the box on the floor and have people pick their crayons. I did a workshop where we did a giant color wheel on the floor. And I put the neutrals, the tans, and the grays, and the blacks, in the middle, whites. But we had the whole color wheel, and people stood at a color to represent a strength, And you could say, talk to someone standing near you. See what you have in common, what's different. Cross to the other side. Meet someone who is opposite you on the color wheel. And just as a warm-up to group cohesion. I think there's a lot of ways to play with color. Again, because we're so familiar with it. It feels like a safe doorway in. And then a group and the director can take it as far as they're able to. If the group stays superficial, they may not be safe enough yet. If the group starts really finding out these colors represent some powerful things, they're telling you we're ready to go deeper. Because it's so open to people's projection, it's a way of taking the pulse of a group and saying, how deep are they ready to go? And so I think that's also a reason I like using color.
Wow, this is fantastic. It's a fantastic way of using the color and how rich it is.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Steve, could you please tell about your practice, the things what you would like viewers to know about you?
Well, actually, I've recently retired. I was working 36 years in a residential treatment center. I've also done group work with Carmelite men and have done some retreats and have done some conferences. I've moved from the East Coast, Silver Spring, Maryland, and I'm now in Oklahoma. The whole family's here but me, and I'm still settling in, but I'm really hoping this fall to be doing some personal growth groups and would like to get a training group going. There's one other TEP in the state, and right now there's no CPs. While like this was fun with you, to me, the power of psychodrama is in action, and as people are getting vaccinated and we can move forward, I am hoping to have an in-person group going, because it's such a powerful tool for building our resources, for building our strengths. Moreno's understanding of sociometry makes a difference in how you get a group to form. I've done work with a group Before You Act, doing warm-ups for their workshops so that there'd be cohesion and they could deal with some difficult issues. So I have traveled to do work with groups. I will be doing some groups come fall, and people can check my website or contact me, and I'm keeping a list going of people who have some interest, and I'll let them know as that stuff starts to take off.
Steve, could you please say your message to the viewers?
One of my favorite quotes, Oscar Wilde, "Be yourself, everyone else is already taken." And if I use the theme from today with the colors, there's enough colors to go around. Find your colors, plural, because we all have many. When you asked at the beginning, who is this work for? I think any group, if it's LGBT, if it's Indigenous people, if it's women, if it's people who've suffered abuse, if it's people working in recovery issues, there's a time that we need to work with a group often where there's a lot of immediate cohesion. And the goal is to move into the larger world and find a way to be yourself truly and expand your social atom. That would be my invitation. Find a support group that allows you to be yourself freely, and then take that freedom and enter more of the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this interview. It was such a pleasure, Steve.
Thank you. You are becoming such an ambassador for psychodrama. There's not that many of us. And I think you're really helping people understand what a powerful tool it is. And so the work you're doing is phenomenal. And I'm really glad I could be part of it. And I'm just so delighted I get to know you.
Thank you so much for contribution. Thank you.
Thank you.
And guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos. Namaste.
Thank you.
If you'd like to learn psychodrama online from leading trainers, affordably and at your own pace, go to actionexplorations.education. This is my project to expand access to the best trainers in the world. It's my baby. We are working with the leading psychodrama trainers to present pre-recorded programs. The programs will include lecture, cases, and evaluations. There will be a large selection of action exploration subjects. I'm going to add from 5 to 10 modules per month, so the content will be very rich. Namaste.